You're living a fantasy. There is no Easter Bunny, there is no Tooth Fairy, and there is no
Sony Sonic movie.
On June 10th of 2014, Sony Pictures would officially announce a live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie. This was announced to be the first in a trilogy of Sonic movies, which is a reasonable goal, but then they go on to say that these will be yearly releases, which is very cute of them to say. It's one thing to announce a trilogy right off the bat, but there is no way a yearly release schedule would work on a time and budget standpoint.
Wait! Hedgehogs can't talk?
Oh, but do they dance?
In the years prior, there had been numerous attempts at a theatrical Sonic movie, but they never made it past the scripting phase. For all we knew, this could have been another instance of a studio announcing shit and not really going anywhere with it. I mean, you don't really see anyone talking about the Netflix Mega Man movie anymore, do you? Years would go by with minimal updates on the project until 2017 when Sony decided we don't want this shit and handed the rights over to Paramount Pictures. That next year in 2018, filming would take place, and in December of that same year, marketing would officially begin. During this marketing campaign, they tried to be funny about it and hide Sonic's face. Ooh, isn't this so mysterious? You don't know what Sonic's face is gonna look like! Until, of course, we did know what his face looked like, thanks to numerous leaks. It was a little funny to see this marketing strategy backfire, but at the same time, these images are kinda weird. This is obviously not the same Sonic we're seeing in this trailer, so where exactly does this come from? Well, that, my friends, is exactly why I'm gonna do my best to break down and clear up any misconceptions in regards to Blur Studios' Sonic movie test footage from 2017. Before I start, I want to make one thing very clear. There is no such thing as a Sony Sonic design. This is not some weird CGI test that Sony produced in 2014. When you're making something like a movie, you're gonna go through a lot of stages in development until you land on something that'll soon evolve into the final product. None of these are Sony's Sonic design. These are all designs from Paramount's Sonic movie that would eventually evolve into what we saw in the first trailer. As a matter of fact, there might not even be a Sony Sonic movie, period. Pat Casey and Josh Miller have talked about rejected plotlines for the movie, but because they're rejected, that doesn't mean they were going to reflect Sony's original vision. When the movie was still under Sony, it had been announced that it would be produced by Tim Miller and directed by Jeff Fowler, which means the movie we got is more or less what Sony's Sonic movie would have been. In early July of 2017, filming would begin for a Sonic movie screen test. We know this because we have a vlog on set from Paul D. Green, who is a focus puller for the test. Ben Schwartz was cast in the title role, and this happened out of pure luck. As explained on the movie commentary for Sonic 1, Ben Schwartz was meeting with Tim Miller for another project, and right next to them was Jeff Fowler at his desk, which was conveniently decorated with Sonic merchandise. It just so happened that at that time, Blur Studios was also working on the Sonic test, so Ben Schwartz ended up getting the gig. Allegedly, James Marsden was still playing Tom in this footage. When I say allegedly, I mean that the only source of this claim comes from someone who was literally on set when this was being filmed. Otherwise, there's no other source that could contradict this claim. According to Paul, the actual footage of James Marsden on set had to get cut out due to an NDA, which makes sense. If you're wondering how Blur had James Marsden money, may I remind you that they also had Ryan Reynolds money when they made the Deadpool pitch. The Sonic test was only filmed a little over a year after Deadpool came out, so they were probably wiping their ass with the money that movie made. We also have this casting sheet. I really wish we had more details about when and where these pictures were taken, because otherwise we may never know the truth. If you look in the corner, you can just barely see what might have been another poster that we'll probably never see. At the very least, we also know that the footage was about 3 to 5 minutes long because Ben Schwartz has occasionally brought it up on Twitter. So what exactly happens in the 2017 Sonic movie test footage? Based on what little inklings we have, I think it's pretty easy to piece together a vague outline of how it all plays out, considering it seems to be a combination of various scenes we see in the movie. This is common practice in movies, as the Deadpool test footage was an early version of a scene in the movie. The scene takes place entirely on this road in Dugway, Utah, which is vaguely similar to the road we see at the beginning of the movie. In the vlog footage, we see Sergeant Sprinkles, so I imagine that the footage opens on Tom giving a speech similar to what we saw in the movie. In this image, taken during a Russian dubbing session, we see a portion of the speech roughly translating to the following.
It's not easy being a cop. Every day when you put on your badge, you go into the danger zone. In my lifetime, I've seen everything. But you really care, don't you, Sergeant Sprinkles? You're a donut.
It's also worth noting that in this vlog, Tom is described as the dumbest guy you can imagine. After introducing Tom, we see Sonic, who begins to run really fast and causes a sonic boom right next to Tom and his car. Unlike the movie where the sonic boom causes a huge blackout and kills everybody, this boom simply blasts Tom into a ditch. We know this because in an image posted by Ben Schwartz, we can see a glimpse at the script in which Sonic apologizes to Tom for blasting him into a ditch. He even goes on to say, "I bet you'd be really mad if I wasn't your best friend." Sound familiar?
Your best friend is a magnet for danger.
Already anointing yourself as the bestie.
I imagine the rest of the footage mirrors dialogue from the highway scene in the movie, and we have a portion of dialogue from that Russian script, but half of it is cut off, so here is an incredibly rough translation from Google Translate.
I don't know, dude. He's sweating.
Sigh, rest in peace.
This is the life of the crew! So, what are your plans?
I have a date.
Oh, I'm very glad for you. Are we leading?
Something laser tag.
No, not.
What else? I'm your friend Blue.
Ben Schwartz also said that the "is the Rock president" joke originated from this test footage, but I'm not exactly sure where Sonic would have said that. In the vlog, we even see the crew filming some plate shots. Your guess as to what exactly they're filming here is as good as mine. Footage of Sonic running back and forth would be filmed by strapping a camera to the front of a car and speeding up the footage. That's pretty much all I can really say about what probably definitely happens in this footage. Reminder that this test was only 3 or 5 minutes long and not a whole ass movie, so it was more like an Instagram short form comedy sketch. Because of the short length, it's pretty easy to piece together how it played out, but how exactly it ended is anyone's guess. Maybe it was just Sonic running off into the distance as the title treatment fades in, or maybe, just maybe, it ended with all the Sonic characters coming out of a portal and they all hold hands to form the Rainbow Road, and then... It almost amazes me just how long this vlog went under the radar. This was in 2017 when we knew nothing about this movie, yet this gives us a basic outline of what to expect from the movie. It's about Sonic and a cop, a fucking dinner. So, where exactly is this test footage today? Unfortunately, Paul D. Green doesn't actually have any footage from this shoot. He was only a focus puller, which essentially means he was there to make sure everything was good with the camera's focus. However, and I know this may seem incredibly obvious, but there's enough evidence to suggest that Paramount still has the footage. I want to make it very clear that this is technically not Paramount's Sonic movie yet, because this was before they picked up the rights to the film, but I don't think this is Sony's Sonic movie either. Ben Schwartz has said that the footage was created in order to sell the movie to studios, so this is probably after Sony stopped giving a fuck about the movie and decided to shop it around to other studios. In April 2018, Paramount would tease the Sonic movie at CinemaCon, along with other movies from their slate. I would like to make it very clear that this is an image from CinemaCon, not CCXP. They did not show a trailer at CinemaCon that year, and this is not a screenshot from the one that they showed at CCXP. We know that this isn't the actual logo from the test footage because Ben Schwartz posted an image of the original title, which was just the Sonic 06 logo. In December 2018, right before the first poster for the movie came out, Paramount would tease the movie at the CinemaCon experience in Brazil, otherwise known as CCXP. By then, filming for the movie would have wrapped about 2 months ago. There is some possibility that they had some scenes animated by then, but nothing to form a full trailer. There is also the possibility that they had post-viz done for the full movie, but if they showcased an unfinished movie, then people would go on Reddit and say, "The Sonic movie looks so bad, they didn't even finish the animation!" So what are they supposed to show from the movie if they don't have a trailer? Well, repurposed test footage, of course. From what little testimonies we have from CCXP that year, people claim that the footage showcased Sonic running on a highway and farting out a sonic boom. That's it. To be more specific, the footage opens on a close-up of Sonic's face as we see him running on a highway creating a sonic boom with the CGI design being reminiscent of Detective Pikachu. That's literally it. Despite this being all we know, a new unheard of detail has recently surfaced that might change everything you've ever known. Allegedly, in this teaser, Sonic yells "woohoo!" out of excitement. I don't know where the fuck that detail came from, or why everyone has decided to unanimously agree that Sonic yells "woohoo!" A while back, I made a video all about this specific teaser, and I got a few comments claiming that I missed one specific detail, that being that Sonic yells "woohoo!" This is a very minor detail, and there's so little information about the teaser that no one can really back it up or debunk it. For all we know, Sonic could have yelled "skibbity dum dum yabber dabber doo!" Actually, scratch that. An exclusive source just sent me video evidence which confirms Sonic said "woohoo!" Check it out. Fuck bitches get money. When I made my video, my intent was to clear up any misconceptions related to that teaser because there had been some misinformation surrounding it. However, I failed to consider one thing. Children, and by extension Sonic movie fans, are very stupid. As the attention towards this teaser grew, something really weird happened. People, and by people I mean children online, decide to make fake leaks of this teaser. And I don't mean recreations where they obviously state recreation in the title. I mean, just look at this. So, it's a deepfake of the Russian screenshots masked over the trailer footage, and the footage is cut super quickly so you can't see the shitty editing. Also, the watermarks are a very stupid touch because the Russian image was for the actual test footage and not the 5-second teaser shown at CCXP. It wouldn't make sense for a Russian company to have their name on a Brazilian teaser. It's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb. So, great! People are making fake leaks out of this now. Haha, very funny. Please don't do that. I'm sure you guys know what Big Star's secret is, and this is a very similar case. People begin making recreation videos, but then small children chime in and make hilariously bad, leaked hoax videos.
Watch the video! Watch this video! Drew, watch the video!
Guys, don't make fun of children. I mean, I'll do it because I'm allowed to, but they're children. They're gonna do stupid shit. It's like funny to point and laugh at something like this, but also it's a bit shitty if you're involved in some deep lost media search and you keep having these shitty butt hoaxes thrown your way. They still haven't found the original Jeff the Killer image, and I still have to see people on Twitter reposting these mock-up images as if they actually found it. Speaking of lost media, is this Sonic movie test footage technically lost media? Well, yes, but actually no. I've said this before, but sometimes lost media isn't actually lost media, it's just lost to you. We don't have it, but Blur Studios and or Paramount might have it still. We know this because the footage that they filmed all the way back in 2017 is still in the trailer and the movie itself. In the opening scene where Sonic picks up a turtle and takes it on a joyride, the footage of the highway is actually a reused plate shot from the original test footage. Little fun fact about this scene, it was actually pitched by Tyson Hesse while they were redesigning Sonic. After watching an early cut of the movie, Tyson noted that there weren't any scenes in which Sonic saved an animal, which is supposed to be his main thing in the games. Adding this scene would not only be a fun gag, but also a fitting introduction for the character. So, who else might have a copy of this test footage? Let's go back to these pictures of recording sessions for the scene. In this image from Ben Schwartz, we can see that this was recorded at Post Haste Digital, which is a dubbing studio in Los Angeles, although they closed last year following a merger with Deluxe Media. In these images posted by Sonic's Russian voice actor, we can see that this was recorded at studio, but also, yes, that is a real studio that actually exists. I've seen their name plastered many times on these really shitty old design Sonic fuck you fake leak videos like the one I just covered, but I don't think anyone actually knows what those watermarks mean. It might shock you to know that Natalia Baranova is a real person, and I don't think she would appreciate how her name is being used. Obviously, I don't work in the dubbing industry, so I don't actually know if these companies keep an archive of the shit sent to them. For all I know, they probably deleted them after the matter because why would they need to come back to the 2017 Sonic movie test footage? We obviously know that Paramount still has it because they used it in the movie, but try asking a huge movie studio for some Sonic movie test footage from 7 years ago. You'd be surprised at how fast they respond. Usually in lost media searches like this, the conclusion ends up being, well, the studio still has it, so maybe they can release it themselves. And it's like, okay, but why would they do that? In November 2022, Paramount released a 4K edition of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles containing over an hour of never-before-seen deleted scenes. They can do that for that movie because it's such a classic, but what they're not going to do is release the first episode of SpongeBob with the original audio where they call him SpongeBoy. What I'm trying to get at is that it really just depends on how much of a demand there is for the matter. Maybe I could be wrong and the Blu-ray edition of Sonic 3 comes with the test footage as a bonus feature. Ben Schwartz has been very open about this test footage, so I don't know, maybe he can leak it himself if he's feeling silly. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and I think I've reached the end of this video. Sadly, it could not be exactly 5 minutes like the Sonic movie test footage, but what you gonna do? Maybe the real 2017 Sonic movie test footage was the friends we made along the way. Remember kids, lying on the internet is stupid and you're gonna get made fun of for it. I will see you all in my next video where I explain why Universal rejected my pitch for the Kung Fu Panda 4 popcorn bucket. Peace!